And a very happy Friday to you at 12:07 in the West. It's the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wang's in New Mexico.
John, yesterday, Gavin Newsom had a big press conference inside a BART train where he signed a $500 million bailout for the transit agencies. And yes, they still need that tax in November as well, just to be able to pay this loan back. But I'm sure you're wondering, at this press conference, was Gavin Newsom being mindful?
We hear mindful in the spirit of what the senator just said. I'm also mindful in the spirit of the opening remarks. And I'm mindful that what matters most is how people feel. It's incredibly important that we're mindful in that respect of where the dollar goes. Nonetheless, we have to be mindful. We have to be more efficient, ultimately do things differently. I just think that whole space, I'm mindful. Forgive me, I got triggered on that. But
it's like machine gun fire.
That was all within the same press conference. Half of it was outside the train, half of it was inside the train. And I had a little extra time because it was snowing today in Santa Fe. So I actually made a video supercut of that, and you can see that on my Substack at randywangradio.substack.com.
Does he know any other words?
Yes, he knows localism is determinative.
And I guess he knows accountability, too.
Well, we know how much he loves to say that word. He says it over and over and over again.
accountability, accountability, accountability.
800-222-5222 is a telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Well, we know that Gavin Newsom is termed out as governor of California, and the race to replace him is one that involves a very crowded field of candidates where no one has really been able to break away from the pack. However, one Democrat in the race, Northern California Congressman Eric Swallwell, has been polling better than the other Democrats in the race, and I think he looks in the mirror and sees a frontrunner.
He does, but then he made the mistake of agreeing to sit down with CBS News Investigates reporter Julie Watts. Julie Watts has been doing all of these interviews with every single candidate running for governor. Julie Watts was the one that sat down with Katie Porter when this happened.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Why did I have to be on vacation when that story broke?
It really is. You get cursed. You were on vacation when the Katie Porter story happened, and you were on vacation when OJ died.
That one really stung.
Well, let's go ahead and listen, because once again, Julie Watts gets candidates to say things that are only going to get them in trouble. Here is Julie Watts in CBS Sacramento.
So you're saying that you don't think there's anything that Gavin Newsom did wrong?
I'm saying we will do things differently, but right now, Californians are pretty lucky to have Gavin Newsom as the protector.
So he's going to go single white female on us.
Gavin's our protector.
He must really, really, really want Gavin's endorsement if he's going to go in a public space and say that.
Well, that's everything that's going on right now. That's why Katie Porter puts out that video saying, I support the LAUSD strike that hasn't happened yet. They're all trying to get the endorsements because we're getting to crunch time here. But I don't think Gavin gets nothing out of endorsing in this race. And I don't think Jerry Brown endorsed in the primary. And I don't think Schwarzenegger endorsed in the primary in that election.
Well, right now, Katie Porter is really going after Tom Steyer because of all the money that Tom Steyer is spending in the race. But give it a little time, and believe me, Eric Swallwell will spend some time in her crosshairs too.
You know, it's interesting. Katie Porter's going after Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer constantly is going after Matt Mahan. There is like this constant chain of who's attacking who, but it's never the same person attacking the same person. Steve Hilton spending his whole time going after Chad Bianco.
It really is kind of hard to follow.
That he is?
It's become a soap opera.
That he is?
Congressman Eric Swallwell is one of the Democrats running to replace California Governor Gavin Newsom when he terms out next year. He lives in Livermore and was previously a prosecutor and city council member.
Wait, I thought he lived in Maryland.
Well, he's a member of Congress. They can have two residences. They got to split their time.
So he gets his mail in Livermore.
He says he's running for governor because, quote, my promise is this. If you work hard, you should do better for yourself and dream bigger for your kids. We sat down with...
That's a cliche.
Well, in that regard, he can compete with Rob Bonta.
We sat down with each candidate for an in-depth interview covering all the issues that matter to you. But we began by asking what they think our current governor and legislature did right and what they would have done differently.
And of course, this is only a small snippet of the full 30-minute interview that she did with every single one of these candidates. So I can't wait for even more.
I think I know what he's going to say before we play it, Randy. What would you do differently than Gavin? My guess is Eric Swallwell is going to say, sleep with more Chinese spies. Because once you do that, 15 minutes later, you're hungry for another Chinese spy to sleep with.
How did I know that joke was coming?
There is no person in any other...
You know, I've been working at this radio station for 13 years, and I had to deal with 6 years of McIntyre making that joke and 7 years of you making that joke.
Well, buckle up, buddy. I'm only 46.
There is no person in any other state who is better protected by their governor than Californians.
Okay, this is already getting pornographic.
He sounds like he was shot with a tranquilizer gun. You notice that he got real slow there for a second?
There is no person in any other state who is better protected by their governor than Californians protected by governors. Like, we have a protector right now.
Can you smell the desperation?
You can smell it right here.
Usually, people don't sound that out of it unless Bill Cosby made their latte.
The president of the United States has put troops on our streets. He's chasing migrants through the fields and the factories where they work. He is taking away...
Wasn't this question about Gavin?
Yes. And now we're talking about the price of tea in China.
He is taking away federal research dollars that, help us find cures for cancer. And our governor is a show not tell governor. That protector spirit of his...
Have you actually followed how Gavin Newsom has run this state? He is a very much tell, don't show governor. He makes massive proclamations and there's no follow through. Remember how Care Court was supposed to get all the crazy people off the streets? It didn't.
Well, it's not just that. He makes these big, grandiose proclamations with no follow through on everything, whether it is the bullet train, whether it is Care Court, whether it is abortion providers in Arizona that were invited to come perform abortions in California. He promised blacks that he would give them reparations. None of that stuff happened.
And our governor is a show not tell governor. That protector spirit of his, we're all better off because of it, and other governors can probably learn and model it.
What do you think was a misstep of Governor Newsom?
Yeah, well, I don't accept the premise that there is, missteps.
Really?
Oh, come on. He's like Mary Poppins. He's perfect in every way.
You can't even go for the low-hanging fruit of the French Laundry? Yeah, this is ass-kissing to a level of trying to get an endorsement, and it is pathetic.
This is beyond ass-kissing. This is explicit, hardcore pornography.
What do you think was a misstep of Governor Newsom?
Yeah, well, I don't accept the premise that there is, missteps. I think he's put some down payments, or for me, as a sports guy, everything's a sports analogy. I think he's gotten us pretty far down the field on mental health with what he did on Prop 1.
Okay, if you're a sports guy, let me give you an analogy that you can relate to. Gavin Newsom to California is like the Oakland Raiders. No one could handle it, so they left town. And that's what the population is doing, too.
And also on housing, and it's my job now to get us across the goal line. And so that's what I'm going to do. On mental health is to continue to expand mental health services, understand the difference between, the severely mentally ill and the severely addicted, and that they need different treatment than folks who are in transition. And then on housing,
Well, already that's a differing point between Swallwell and Gavin Newsom, but he either doesn't know or doesn't want to admit it, because Gavin doesn't think addiction is a problem when it comes to homelessness.
Clean and sober is one of the biggest damn mistakes this country's ever made. I know it's a hold your hand idealistic point of view that somehow magically, I mean, God bless some of you. If you're like me, I've been known to have a glass of wine at night watching some of the nightly news. We all need to self-medicate periodically.
Well, it's a combination of a couple of things. One, you're 100% right. He wants the endorsement. But the other thing is that he's a member of Congress who is a federal official. He is totally checked out of what's going on in California. He hasn't been keeping up with it. He doesn't know much about it. He never thought he would be running for governor of California. He thought that Kamala would run or Alex Padilla would run, and he would run for re-election to the House. Well, the reason that he's in the race is because he sees opportunity. Well, if you're in the race because you see opportunity, you're not in the race because you've been studying these problems and thinking about these problems and feel you have something to contribute that can solve these problems. That's not the issue here.
I'm going to put more shot clocks in place. I like what he did in Altadena. And
What?
It burnt to the ground.
Okay, I got to hear this one.
I'm going to put more shot clocks in place. I like what he did in Altadena and the Palisades. I want to have in every county, all 58 counties, what the governor did, put a 90-day shot clock. Tell those agencies you have 90 days to approve or deny every outstanding housing application.
They can't even file for the permits because they haven't had their claims settled with the insurance companies. He has no idea what's going on down there.
In what world can you turn to the Palisades in Altadena and point to them as a success story for the state?
This is bizarre. I've never heard anyone with this take. Gavin Newsom should be commended for how he's handled Altadena and the Palisades.
So you're saying that you don't think there's anything that Gavin Newsom did wrong?
I'm saying we will do things differently, but right now, Californians are pretty lucky to have Gavin Newsom as the protector that he is.
Okay, I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Is he endorsing you? Is this? I mean, you're honestly the first person who sat here and has not been able to say one thing that Gavin Newsom did wrong. So the reason we ask this question is because I think it really is telling: is this next governor going to support the good and the bad, or is he going to say yes? This is something that I wouldn't have done or I would have done differently. Is there anything you would have done differently than Governor Newsom?
Yeah, I think what he did in the Palisades and Altadena is something I'm going to do.
What?
That's not even remotely close to answering the question. This guy is a sycophant.
In all 58 counties to expedite housing.
Okay.
Julie's in shock, and she has dealt with a lot of insanity covering this race.
Housing.
Okay.
I don't even think Katie Porter rattled her that much when she started screaming at her.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
Mob
With
boss
that,
Katie.
what about the legislature?
Senator Wiener, Assemblymember Wicks, they have done great things on CEQA reform and local control as it relates to state issues.
No, they just took away local control with SB 79. Do you understand anything that's been going on in this state?
He has no clue what's going on in the slightest.
This guy's the front runner on the Democrat side? What happened? Katie Porter, what happened?
You can smell it right here.
I think he's able to get away with this because Democratic voters are just checked out of state issues right now. They don't care. And if they don't care, why should the candidates?
Well, what I want to do, is diversify where we are getting revenue. And there's a lot of reliance on tech, AI. And by the way, we are a tech AI capital of the world. We also know, and I've been around long enough, and I saw this in the Bay Area in the 90s, that can go south. And so what I want to do is diversify how we find revenue.
That's a weird thing to say.
I just got a message from a friend of mine who's listening, who said, that's the same question that cost Kamala the election. Remember that?
Oh, when she went on The View.
She went on The View, and Sonny Hostin asked the question, what would you do differently than Grampy Joe? And she said, nothing comes to mind. That sunk her. I wonder if any of the other candidates running for governor, if they'll use this against him in their ads, because it was very powerful in defeating Kamala.
That is just 3 minutes of, hopefully we'll get more clips soon, of Julie Watts' sit down with Eric Swallwell. And it may be, if enough people see it, the most damaging thing to happen to his campaign since it launched about a month ago.
Well, this guy is a massive flake. He should be in the supermarket with Tony the Tiger on the box. And if you thought Gavin was a massive flake, well, at least he came from state government, so he knew something about it. This guy is totally clueless. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And if you end up going to the Central Valley of California this weekend, you can listen to us on KMJ in Fresno.
How exciting is this? So we do this show live every single day from noon to 3. If you're just joining us because you're trying to figure out what's going on at KFI, we'd love to have you. We've been doing this show for 7 years in this time slot, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. But we also put together some packages of the show that air later in the day on KABC in Southern California. We put a Fixed California Hour replay that airs early in the morning before Armstrong and Getty on KSFO. And I put together every single week a special edition of the Fixed California Hour replay that airs on our sister station, KMJ in Fresno, AM 580, 105.9 FM. You can also stream it at KMJ now.com. So we've got statewide coverage for you. We're up in Northern California. We've got Southern California, and we've got Central California. The Fixed California Hour replay airs Saturdays at noon on KMJ.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Well, Randy, in today's news cycle, it doesn't matter where you turn, there are prostitutes everywhere.
And one of the places that's been getting a lot of notoriety for rampant open-air prostitution is in neighborhoods where you didn't used to see it, specifically some of the nicer neighborhoods around Hollywood, like the Larchmont area. Well, there was a community meeting, thanks to reporting that has made people aware of how awful this is by Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf. And this community meeting involved police and other agencies and nonprofits, and of course, Hugo Soto Martinez. And let's just say the locals are pissed.
I can imagine.
For more, here's Fox 11 and Matthew Seedorf, who unearthed this entire story.
Workers trolling for customers along the Western Avenue corridor have neighbors so concerned they packed a community meeting tonight. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf joins us live with that story. Matthew, what happened?
Well, Phil, a lot of people were here angry tonight, but happy to finally be able to voice these concerns.
You could also voice your concerns by voting for somebody differently in June.
That's a good place to start.
Anger erupting at a Los Angeles town hall.
We need some answers.
Residents from Larchmont to Koreatown fed up with seeing prostitution outside their homes, even schools.
On our way to school around 8 a.m., these women who barely have on clothes curse at.
Yeah, you know, when the news shows the footage of what the streetwalkers are wearing, they have to blur it out. It's that explicit. And this is in the middle of the day next to schools.
Why are the prostitutes cursing out the parents? That can't be good for business.
These women who barely have on clothes curse at us.
Sometimes it's worse.
Last month, Fox 11 first exclusively exposed the issue in Larchmont.
Usually, if they're going to curse you out and be nasty to you, I think they charge extra for that.
Last month, Fox 11 first exclusively exposed the issue in Larchmont.
And in fact, it was that story that Matthew Seedorf had to call the newsroom. He told me this story. He had to call the newsroom and get clearance for what exactly they could film that would make it to air, because it was that explicitly disgusting.
If Chris Burrows was still with us, do you think they would assign him to this story?
Let's move on.
not far from Western Avenue.
We're having sex right here on the bench.
Neighbors felt so ignored by city leaders, they posted warning signs for prostitutes and Johns that can't.
Sorry, Johnny.
Why do they always have to be Johns? Can they be Randys for once?
That cameras are in use, but say still nothing has changed.
Not just me picking up used condoms on my street, it's seeing literally 15-year-old girls on the corner.
We've had.
How are we allowing this?
Right there in broad daylight, 15-year-old girls selling their bodies.
Just over 20 crisis clients.
Victim advocates, LAPD, and Councilmember Hugo Soto Martinez here taking questions from frustrated residents.
Can we at least have a police officer drive by the intersection?
We can't do that.
No, although I will say this. If there are 15-year-olds on the street selling their bodies, maybe Prince Andrew will move here just like Prince Harry.
Officials say their goal is to get women.
You're on the line right now. If you want to keep doing this story, you be nice.
I'm behaving.
Officials say their goal is to get women off the streets and into supportive services.
The lack of policing, and I understand we're short-handed, but if I go down there and try to get some help, they'll give me a number.
Would you like to see more police out there?
I think everyone is playing a role to make sure that the sex trafficking.
Oh, look, Hugo not answering the question.
Definitely on brand for him.
Would you like to see more police out there?
I think everyone is playing a role to make sure that the sex trafficking is eliminated. We brought different partners today. We had Journey Out, which I think is the most important one because that's how we're going to get the women out. Working with LA Sand, Bureau of Street Lighting.
What would you like to see more police out there?
I think we have a really great team right now.
That doesn't work.
And you wonder why the cops aren't so inspired to come help the residents of Council District 13.
No, he's one of these people that wants social workers to do the job that cops are meant to do.
If you want to know why the rampant prostitution is being allowed in Hugo Soto Martinez's district, it's because Hugo Soto Martinez is in charge and he doesn't want the cops to do a damn thing.
I think we have a really great team right now.
That doesn't work for all of us.
Residents tired of sending pictures like these to police, feeling like nothing happens.
Start with the little stuff, broken windows, graffiti.
Now hopeful.
Wait, broken windows, that's not what it's called. It's not called broken window theory.
Broken windy theory.
Thanks for clearing that up, Imelda.
Seriously, can we just have an IQ test if you run for city office?
Well, then we'd get a whole all-new council.
Start with the little stuff, broken windows, graffiti.
Now hopeful this meeting is the first step to change. After tonight's meeting, do you feel like it's going to get fixed?
It's not going to be an overnight fix.
A lot of people tonight leaving here anxious to see if this all helps. Reporting live, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
No, people got to vent. Hugo got to make it look like he was listening, but you know what Hugo's policy is on this. He is not going to be going after the Johns or the pimps.
How do you rehabilitate a foul-mouthed prostitute? Because I know there are services that are out there that try to take people who have, let's just say, made some poor decisions in life, and they try to teach them the proper way. They try to make them employable, teach them some skills, get them a legitimate job, make them tax-paying citizens. Where do you put profane prostitutes? What job can you stick them in that they would have a smooth transition? You're going to make them a teller at the bank? You show up to make a deposit, and all you see is a scantily clad, half-naked woman dropping F-bombs right and left. No bank is going to want that drama in their branch. What are you going to do? Make them work at the school? They can be a crossing guard? Dress like a hoochie mama? Swearing at the cars as the cars drive by? You can't do that. How about TSA at the airport? We know they know how to tell men to take off their belts. They could do that, I guess. What do you think the pat-downs would be like? I don't think anyone would be able to sneak any drugs on those planes. They'd find them all. I think they would have a better record than those drug-sniffing dogs, don't you? Maybe that's where we put them. Imagine showing up to the airport and all you see are reformed prostitutes asking you for your photo ID, telling you to take your laptop out of the bag, looking at naked pictures of you on the screen. It could happen. Look at this, Randy. We're part of the solution here. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. The Fix California Hour coming up after the news at 1. All right. We know that there is a prostitution problem in Hollywood, Larchmont Village, and other portions of Los Angeles. But we also know, thanks to our friend 3N Shrimp, that there is a prostitution problem along Figueroa, too.
Well, and this is what's interesting. Apparently, there's been quite a crackdown on the prostitution that's going along the Figueroa corridor. There's still plenty of it, but they're taking an effort because so many people have been paying attention to it, especially with the World Cup and the Olympics coming. Apparently, a lot of those pimps have taken their prostitutes and moved to Larchmont.
Uh-oh.
But ABC7 is doing this big investigative piece on what is going on in the Figueroa corridor and what elected officials say they're doing about it. They're doing a big 30-minute special that's going to air on ABC7 this weekend, and we have a preview.
This week, 7 on Your Side Investigates is exposing how L.A. is a hub for human trafficking. It's all leading up to a...
Yes, let's totally invite the world here for all these sporting events because we're totally ready for it.
It's going to be such a disaster.
It's all leading up to a special report debuting this weekend called Sex in Plain Sight, the Figueroa Corridor.
And so yesterday we learned about these underage girls that are being forced to sell sex in this part of the city. So what's the plan to stop it?
Our investigative reporter, Kevin Osbeck, has been pressing our leaders for answers. He joins us now live. Kevin,
what's the plan to stop it? With the World Cup and the Olympics coming here, I don't think they have any plans to stop it. I think they have plans to staff it.
Well, Mark and Michelle, we have the World Cup this year, the Super Bowl next year, and then the Olympics in 2028. And all of these events could drive up the demand for sex along that corridor.
Yeah, apparently there was a huge bust with a whole lot of sex trafficking going on around the Bay Area Super Bowl. So this is just what happens. Here along the... You know, the only thing that's going to solve this problem is when the sex robots come out.
Oh, can you imagine what kind of problems that's going to create, though? You'll have entire generations that have never interacted with a live human being.
We're already having that. There's like a significant portion of men who are in their 30s that have never asked somebody out on a date.
That's sad.
Yep. Here along the Figueroa. Who do you think is listening to Joe Rogan 100 hours a day?
Here along the Figueroa corridor, most are ordered to work under the cloak of darkness, but not all. Even in broad daylight, there's still the selling of sex in plain sight.
And every single image they're showing in this piece, they have to blur out what the women are wearing because it's that revealing, and this is in broad daylight next to schools.
Now, if you were producing this piece, would you use that music, or is that getting the Johns in the mood?
So it's
ominous music. It's not supposed to be romantic.
I don't know. I think you could play that music to a candlelight.
So it's 7:16 a.m. on a Friday morning. Kids are now starting to walk to school. We're just a block from a school. You can see somebody's working this corner right now.
Is there at 7 a.m.?
Who's in the mood for that at 7 a.m.?
Degenerates.
Is there a specific plan to get some of this trafficking off of Figueroa?
Right, there is. But, you know, it is difficult because it is like whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole?
Boy, she just drops letters right and left, doesn't she?
Who's Mo?
Larry, Moe, and Curly?
Right, there is. But, it is difficult because it is like whack-a-mole. So you can crack down on Figueroa, and now we have a problem in another part of the city.
Then you crack down there as well. But no, we're not doing that. They moved them from one district that was getting a lot of attention to a district that is a member of the city council that doesn't want to do a damn thing about this.
This is what happens when you're unwilling to put people in jail if they break the law. You just have them do it somewhere else.
Which is why it is important to go after the criminal enterprises, the traffic, and to go after the Johns.
Sorry, Johnny.
Boy, this is just going from bad to worse.
We are going to go after the Johns.
Thanks for rubbing salt into that wound, Nathan.
We are going to go after the Johns, these sex exploiters. And we're going to go after them not just with misdemeanor prosecutions, but felony prosecutions.
That might make a difference, although it's a nonviolent crime. So even if it's a felony conviction, they're still going to the local jail. The local jail's overcrowded because of AB 109, so they're going to get out on an ankle monitor and be back on Figueroa.
100%.
In fact, we're also going to try and hopefully change the state laws as it pertains to these Johns.
LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman says most out here on the corridors selling the sex are victims. They're beaten by pimps if they don't meet their quotas. So Hochman wants to punish the men.
Now, wait a minute. Isn't that counterintuitive for the pimps? Because let's just say the pimp is upset with the prostitute, so he smacks her around a little. Who's going to pay for a beat-up prostitute? Doesn't that just hurt the pimp in the end?
Oh, Johnny, this is what makeup is for.
So Hochman wants to
What happened to your eye there? It looks, black and blue. Well, I fell. And that's the God's honest truth.
So Hochman wants to punish the men coming here buying the sex.
Because it's a much more efficient way of dealing with the problem is, can we dry up the demand side?
He's even launched...
Well, good luck with that, again, until the sex robots come. But yes, since it's illegal here and since a lot of these women are teenagers, maybe we got to increase the punishments. Although every single time we try in Sacramento, it is a very uphill climb to increase the punishments for anything.
And he's 100% wrong. If you have someone on the street selling their body and it is obvious what they're doing and they're in violation of the law, you pick them up and arrest them. You can do that. If you think you're going to put an end to horny guys in trucks, you got another thing coming.
He's even launched this public poll so county residents can vote on how they want him to punish the Johns.
Boy, they just keep up.
You can vote for the forfeiture of their vehicles, or...
There you go. If you're going to use your car to pick up a prostitute, no more car for you.
So what, you walk home?
Or allowing sex worker survivors to sue them. Going after the...
There you go. The prostitute can sue you for damages.
You think they exchange information before they do the deed? I'm going to have to see your driver's license. I know you don't need it to vote, but here at the No Tell Motel, we require it.
Going after the Johns out here may be easier than targeting the pimps and the traffickers.
We have very unique complexities in human trafficking cases that do make our job hard.
Are the victims here, the women who were trafficked, do they often want to cooperate with you and prosecute their pimps?
Absolutely not.
That's part of the problem here. When the pimp gets picked up, none of the prostitutes want to testify, whether they're afraid for their lives or who knows why, but it's all part of the game that you don't snitch.
No, and the frequent flyers are their customers.
In the commercial sex lifestyle, there's a term known as the game. One of the fundamental concepts of the game is you don't snitch. You don't snitch against your trafficker.
Because we know what California laws are like. We know how much time these guys will actually spend, even if you are able to convict them. And when they get out, it's going to be more than a beating.
Oh, of course. Or who knows? They might be in the next container going back to China.
Now, even though they may be so much tougher to prosecute, Hochman told us, make no mistake, he says he also wants to take down as many pimps as possible, though he says he needs police to get more resources to make those arrests. So,
well, we're not going to be able to do that.
No, of course not. We're an under-policed city as it is.
Will those resources come? That's one of the huge questions we'll be asking LA leaders in our special report, Sex in Plain Sight. Mark and Michelle, hope to see you for the special.
So that is going to air Saturday night at 10 o'clock on ABC 7 in Los Angeles, and I'm sure they'll put the whole video on YouTube, a 30-minute special on the rampant open-air daytime prostitution happening on the Figueroa corridor and what our electeds say they're doing about it.
If every single station in town is doing a report on prostitution, it has to be Sweeps. It's like when they do all the stories about spring break gone wild and they just use it as an excuse to play B-roll of half-naked teenagers on the beach over and over and over and over and over again. You used to be able to tell it was Sweeps whenever Montel would have Sylvia Brown on. But now she's dead and his show got canceled. So I guess we have to look out for a series on prostitution in the local news.